The coolest part about my job is I get to study the ocean floor.
I run the Marine Corps lab at the Bedford Institute of Oceanography. Here we process marine sediment core samples. Marine sediment core samples are big tubes filled with mud that we collect from the ocean floor, which we bring back to the lab, and we run a series of tests on them. We collect our core samples aboard Coast Guard ships typically when we're out on research expeditions. Going out to sea is one of the favorite parts of my job. When you're out there, it's hard work, but you don't even feel like you're working. There's expeditions where you're gone for a few weeks at a time to collect samples and data that we can bring back and study further. When you're trying to understand hazards or underwater landslides on the seafloor, this supports lots of industries. For example, if you're going to lay pipelines or build oil platforms or lay communication cables for the internet, for example, you have to understand what's happening on the ocean floor and what are the hazards and how often are they happening. Every time you open up a core sample, you're opening up something that no one's ever seen before, really. It's a piece of the ocean floor. Core samples are a record of what's happened in the past. When the core samples come back to the lab, I have a team of students usually who help me process the samples. We take as many measurements as we can, especially measurements that are going to change with time. Because these cores take so much effort to collect, we try and get as much information as we can out of them while trying to keep the samples as pristine as possible. So we're trying to minimize how much we are disturbing the samples. My advice would be to keep an open mind. You never know what you're going to be interested in. I studied a lot of science and math to keep doors open and ended up in a job that I never knew existed.